welcome to my channel. My name's Lil Lazuli, and today we're going to be asking what blessings are coming to you soon. So go ahead and choose the animal that you're most drawn to. We have 6 options. And I'll go ahead and start with the porcupine. Sorry, just moving all of them up. Okay. So if you chose the porcupine, this is your reading. Okay, for Rider-Waite Tarot, you got the 7 of Swords in reverse, 3 of Wands in reverse, 10 of Wands, the Chariot in reverse, you got the Ace of Cups in reverse, Page of Wands in reverse, and then from the Grimaud Tarot, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, you got the High Priestess, Tenacity, you got Strength in reverse. Look at that, you can finally see the cards in this video. You got the 5 of Cups in reverse. I just had to tilt them a little bit. You got the Rainbow. Oh, dang. Maybe I spoke too soon. You got Thick Fur in reverse. This is for my Rabbit Tarot. And you got the Rabbit Feet in reverse. Little rabbit feet. My hand probably looks really weird doing that. And then you got the Lower World in reverse. This is for your Mystical Shaman Oracle. So this is a little bit of advice, but I might get some advice within the reading. Okay, so blessings that are coming to you soon. I'm seeing some sort of burden that's going to be not necessarily like lifted, it's not going away, but there's some burden that's been like plaguing you for a long time, and you're finally gonna like have this strength. You're gonna feel like you have the strength to finally carry it, and I don't think it's like something that you necessarily want to let go, because it may be, I mean, it may be in your power to let it go, but it may not. But I think if it is in your power to let it go, I don't think you would necessarily want to. I think you want to carry this burden, and so this is just saying that like the next blessing is like that feeling of strength, especially because you got the Strength in reverse, but you got it next to Tenacity, so it's gonna be like you're gonna figure out that like just sort of pushing through a struggle is gonna be enough strength, whether you feel like you have strength or not. You got the 7 of Swords in reverse, and the 3 of Wands in reverse. So I feel like you are constantly like looking for like the next best thing, you know. You always kind of feel like the grass is greener and your situation just kind of sucks and it's just not good enough. And I think you're going to be, the blessing is going to be, something is going to be presented to you, or that you're gonna be forced to face something in your life, right? And this thing is like you're not gonna want to face it, but eventually when you do face it, you're gonna realize that it's not as scary or as bad as you thought it was. Like this thing is going to, this is the thing that you're like trying to avoid, so you're like trying to, you know, reach out and do other things and avoid this one thing that you just don't want to face. But like once you finally face it, you're gonna like, the blessing is gonna be that it's not gonna be that bad and you like might actually enjoy it. So this could be like a relationship, it could be a job, you know, some sort of responsibility, or you know, something like that. The Chariot in reverse and Ace of Cups, Page of Wands in reverse. I can see that like you may be a pretty emotional person. I always like, I'm a Cancer, and so whenever I see the Chariot, I'm like, oh, heavy Cancerian energy. But I guess this is the only, other than, you know, Strength and High Priestess. This is the only other of the tarot, of the Rider-Waite Tarot. This is the only like major arcana, the Chariot, and this is in reverse. So I feel like, and the Page of Wands is in reverse, and the Ace of Cups is upright. So I feel like you kind of are a bit of like an emotional person, sensitive person, and it's sometimes you feel like it's too much, and it's like off-putting to other people, which is like why you got the Page of Wands in reverse as well. So like you're so worried about your emotions and being overly emotional that it keeps you from being fun and like fiery and spontaneous, because kind of like, you know, when you get drunk, and a lot of times people drink because they want to be like fun and loose and like the life of the party, but then you like reach that tipping point where you like, you know, start thinking about sad things and like start crying, you know what I mean? And so like you're worried about that. You're worried about like doing, you know, trying to like put yourself out there and be fun, but then like it backfires on you or something, you know, you're overly sensitive about something and it hurts your feelings, and you know what, you end up like crying at the end of the night. But I'm seeing like the blessing is that you're going to be meeting someone that is gonna like really appreciate it, especially with like this, with this Ace of Cups. There's like this bird up here, and it's like drinking from this cup, and I never noticed like this cup that the water is running down, and it does look like streams of tears, you know what I mean? And so like I feel like whoever this person is going to be sort of like this bird that's gonna like really appreciate that like overflowing cup of emotion that you have, because, you know, although it may be off-putting to some, to others it would, you know, it feels very comforting and very authentic and genuine, which is true. You know, you are acting genuine, but other people who, you know, suppress their emotions find it difficult to like accept someone who is emotional, because, you know, they don't know how to deal with it. But you like, you don't have to deal with it. You're just like, you're someone who has accepted more of yourself than others. So that's going to be a blessing also, is like you realizing that your emotionality is like a positive thing for you. But also the blessing is that there's going to be a person coming in who really appreciates that about you. Okay, you got the High Priestess, Strength in reverse, Power, and Five of Cups in reverse, Relative and Parent. So, so I think this may have to do with like, because this is like a parent card, like maybe something having to do with your family, of like you oftentimes feel like you're not good enough, or like oftentimes like you put a lot of doubt in your head, you know, regarding your self-worth, or like kind of like, you know, when you kind of revisit your family, or you like move back in with your parents, it's like that kind of triggering feeling of like you're going back to that, all that insecurity that you dealt with before, you know, when you were growing up and stuff in childhood. And I think with these cards coming up, you're going to be, the next time, you know, you see your family, or if you're spending more time with them, like it's going to be a very uplifting, in the sense of like you're gonna be this girl of like, she kind of has this like aura, like spinning, you know, like this spiraling aura around her, and it's going to feel like protection, and you're gonna feel that like strength and power within that, and so no longer feel, yeah, like disempowered by your family, you know, because, you know, you may be really tough and strong to society, but like when you, regarding your relationships with like family and friends and stuff, it's, or no, not friends, but like family, like, and parents, you can, like, they know all your triggers, you know what I mean? Because they were probably the cause of them, you know what I mean? So those triggers are, you're gonna like see your family, and those triggers are no longer gonna affect you, so that's gonna make you feel really powerful and really like strong. So yeah, that's another blessing coming your way. With these rabbit cards, you got Rainbow, Thick Fur in reverse, and the Rabbit Feet. Okay, so I'm saying that, like, because you're so emotional too, you're like a really, you know, anxious person as well. And with this rainbow card, you're going to be showered with a lot of warm feelings from other people. And you're not going to be used to it, because with this thick fur in reverse, I see that, like, you're used to, you know, kind of like building up these walls, but they're like not really walls, they're just like layers of anxiety on you, right? So you're just like like kind of stressed out for the next thing that could hurt you, or, you know, make you feel overly sensitive again. But whatever this blessing, especially because this is under these cards are underneath this new love that's coming in, you know, this new person that's gonna respect and like love your emotions. They're, you know, it's gonna be friends and like people that are closer to you are gonna really be showering you in this like really happy, warm feeling. And so you're gonna be feeling really comfortable and kind of peeling away those layers of anxiety now. Especially with like the rabbit's feet in reverse. Rabbits really fast, and so they like constantly feel like they need to move because they can't stay. They don't feel, you know, you may not be feeling grounded, because you're worried about the next thing that's gonna hurt your feelings. And so yeah, this is saying that once you're like really start like enjoying and feeling those warm fuzzy feelings, which is like the thing that you're always trying to give to other people, but other people don't have that goal to give it to you. You know what I mean? Other people are just like living in their own space and head, and so they're, you know, they're over here like, oh, I'm going through it, and you're over here like, I love you, but like I just want to make you feel better, like I'm here for you. And they're like, get away from me, like you don't know me, you know what I mean? And you're just, it's hard for you to accept that. And with this, you're finally going to be, you know, find those people who are like going to be welcoming, that sort of nurturing instinct that you have. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing for all of those. Okay, also, so since you got the porcupine, I'd say a blessing to you is that, like, you're going to have this protective, porcupines are like, so you're going to have this protective, like, energy around you because of, and I think this has to do with, like, this rainbow card, too, about, like, those warm feelings. And you're finally going to feel, yeah, that comfort that, like, a porcupine has. Like, a porcupine isn't threatening or predatorial. It just has a bunch of quills on it, so it, you know, is protected from other predators. And so basically I'm seeing like the quills as like this energy that you have of like, and it's going to be like warmth and like kindness and like that strength coming from that, of no longer feeling like, because like I think you need protection against other people's negativity. And so the blessing is that you're going to be in a much safer place to like build up that protection. And to feel like you are protected and that you don't need to worry about other things hurting you anymore. Yes, okay. So that's what I got for the blessings, and I'll go ahead and read your advice card from the Mystical Shaman Oracle. You got the Lower World in reverse, and these cards are so pretty. Look at this. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. So the essence of the lower world. The lower world holds the hidden treasures of humanity. It is a place of rich and fruitful darkness where we can find the disowned part of ourselves and the abandoned aspects of our psyches. The lower world is the place of our ancestors where we discover the gifts and lessons from the past. It is the realm of the collective unconscious. Here we can meet our demons and transform them into pure energy, our source of personal power. Since it's in reverse, you got the Medicine. Are you one of those people who do not like to face the past? Now your past is calling to be acknowledged, to be heard, and to be embraced. The only way to become unstuck is to honor everything that has transpired in your life. reflect on the lessons learned, and move on. If you bear witness to your past and learn its lessons, it will stop haunting you. As you embrace its gifts, you will recover a missing part of your soul. And so, that's really interesting because that definitely relates to like the family blessing that I was seeing is coming in. Of you feeling like you're healing from those triggers, and like the you know, with this slower world card talking about, you know, revisiting the past and, you know, learning from it. So, and then with the rainbow just talking about just building up that confidence in yourself and that like that self empowerment. You're gonna be able to, yeah, just be really empowered by the past rather than be scared of the future because of the hurt you felt. You're gonna feel like, oh, I went through like tough things and I was hurt in the past, so that way now in the future I don't have to be worried about getting hurt over the same things again, because you're like, I already experienced that, so it's like, well, I got through it. What's there to be afraid of anymore, you know? So that's your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. My name is Lil Lazuli. If you like a personal reading, you can hit me up in my DMs on my Instagram, Lil_Lazuli, and I can help you out there. Basically what I'll do is like, I'll upload a private video to YouTube and then send you the YouTube link. Yeah. So, and then my next reading, which should be coming out in a few days, will be what spirit or entity is around you. So if you'd like to watch that, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And then if you like this video, if it resonated at all, please comment and like. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Bye. Okay, if you chose the owl, this is your reading. You got Judgment, Three of Cups in reverse, Two of Pentacles in reverse, Four of Pentacles. You got the Chariot in reverse, which says legal dispute. You got Change, which is the Knight of Wands, and the Temperance card. Okay, cool. I'll just go ahead and say this here, that I immediately sense with these three cards that there was like a lack of balance coming through in your life, and I was like, I saw the Temperance card, but it didn't come out. I've read like kind of like the Judgment card as Temperance, and then Temperance came out, so that's confirmation. You got the Stuffed Rabbit in reverse. This is from the Rabbit deck. Thistles in reverse, Babies in reverse, and Beauty Way. Oh, I love this one. Oh, it's so pretty. This is from the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck, and this will be your advice card. But I might get some advice from you from the other cards. Okay, so yeah, immediately I saw that there may be, you may be feeling like this lack of balance in your life, and I think it does have to do something with friends and your social life. Maybe you just feel like you give too much to that, and you just constantly feel pulled to like be going out and, you know, hanging out with people and reaching out to others. And so I'm seeing the blessing coming to you is spending more time at home and just kind of like relaxing and keeping to yourself. With this Judgment card, yeah, I'm seeing that as like, these are kind of like your friends, right? And so when you're going to be like more reclusive, you're gonna find that more people are reaching out to you, and you're going to have this heightened sense of judgment as to whether a person is toxic or not in your life, or helpful or not. Maybe no one's like really necessarily toxic, but like you can't give your energy to everyone. So, you know, you're gonna finally realize like, oh, I'm spreading myself too thin, and it's time that I don't help this person out who's in need, even though maybe they do need it, but like I don't have enough energy to give help to everyone. Yeah, you got this Chariot in reverse and this Change card. So, you know, Chariot has to do with like movement. And then you got, but it's in reverse, so it's going to feel like it's necessary for you to stay more stationary, because I think a lot of times you think you have to be doing a lot of physical things. Probably that's why you like spend a lot of time with friends, because you're like, I just need to be out and active and keep moving. And I think you'll find that in this period of, you know, not being able to do much and kind of having that period of like relaxation and quiet and peacefulness and meditation, you got this Knight of Wands, the Change card, which is going to have to deal with like you're finally going to feel like you're changing. You're going to get out of that fear of being stagnant, because you're going to realize, oh, even when I'm not doing anything, I'm mentally like changing and spiritually growing, because once you're in this peacefulness, you're going to find that you're going to be less impulsive, and that's a thing that's not helpful for, you know, long-term manifestation. You probably are expending a lot of energy, but it's not necessarily all conducive to you, like, you know, a long-term purpose or a fulfilling mission. And so, yeah, and then with this Temperance card, yeah, you're finally going to figure out how to balance those energies. You didn't get a lot of cards for this one, and it just seems like it's all, like everything here is just all relating to that one aspect. And then owls are, you know, known as being very wise. It's possible that you're going to be studying something. If not actually studying something, you're just going to be learning more about yourself in this period of solitude. You got the Stuffed Rabbit in reverse, Thistles in reverse, and Babies in reverse. So it's possible you could have like baby fever, and you're like, I just need a baby. And that is sort of that thought is a manifestation of you feeling like you're not enough on the inside. So like it's a call for self-love, because basically a baby is going to have your genetic makeup, but like with another person that you love. And basically the reason why we admire other people is because we feel like we see something in them that we don't have in ourselves. And so ultimately, like, a baby is just like everything that another person has that you wished you had, and like you want to give love to this baby, right? But you are you'll be learning to treat yourself as this baby, and that like you don't need something, because again, like even having a baby, then you start directing, you're no longer looking at yourself again, you're looking at something else. Yeah, and like thistles, I feel like you might even cringe at the fact of like being on your, like, by yourself, and you're just like, oh, I get stressed out and go crazy. But like you're gonna have to go through that little period of like, oh, and then on the out, because you're like, if you're by yourself, you're just, you know, I definitely have felt that, where I'm just like, oh, I'm by myself for a long time, I'm gonna go insane. And then a couple days later, I'm just like, oh no, I actually had a lot more anxiety when I was like doing a bunch of other stuff with other people, and I was running away from myself, than now when I'm much more at peace. And so like once you like re-enter the world, you know, revisit your friends, you're gonna feel a lot more in the moment, and you're gonna be able to have a lot more fun, because you reach this peacefulness within yourself, and you're no longer going to feel like you need to be like, and you know, like if you feel like you're stressed in your friend group, that's also a sign that you're afraid of yourself because you're stressed about the next time you're going to be alone. So if you're like with your friends and you're overthinking a lot, that's probably because you're like, I need them to like me and I need to be on my best game here, because if they don't like me and they start rejecting me now and pulling away from me, then I'm going to have to deal with being alone. And so if you are able to like calmly sit in your aloneness, you're going to be able to like really enjoy being with friends, because you're going to be like, oh, I may not see you for a while, but let's have a good time now. And then when I'm home, I could chill out with myself. You know what I mean? It's like you're going to be building like this friendship with yourself. And then the stuffed rabbit in reverse. I mean, the stuffed rabbit is like, again, like one of those companions. So you might even have something like that. Some sort of coping mechanism, or yeah, like it could be an actual like stuffed animal, some like a blanket that like gives you security, or it could be, you know, a TV show, you know, eating food. This is sort of like just a coping mechanism kind of thing that's keeping you from feeling your own feelings and just being with yourself. So like maybe if you're, you know, alone, you like to drink or like get high, and that's just you just trying to escape your own thoughts again. So this thing may not necessarily feel like a blessing, because you're going to be experiencing something that's gonna be removed from your life that like you really rely upon. But this will ultimately be a really big blessing, because you're no longer going to feel anxious when you don't have this thing. And this is something that you shouldn't be having 24/7. Shouldn't be really having anything 24/7, but yeah, especially this, whatever you feel like you need a lot, that might be, you know, removed from your life for a time period or completely. I'm not really sure exactly what it is for you. It all depends, but this is going to be like a big blessing. You're going to feel a lot of relief once you can, you know, finally let go of that attachment, even though it's probably going to be really difficult to do it. So those are the messages I got from that, and I'll go ahead and read the Beauty Way advice card for you. Okay, the essence. The Beauty Way is both a path that you travel on and a daily practice. The path is where you choose to perceive only beauty before you, behind you, and all around you as you journey through life. The practice is where you take action to bring beauty to every situation you are in. When things get ugly, you act to bring integrity and peace to the difficult encounter. When everyone else perceives only darkness, you point out the light and help uncover the hidden treasures. The invitation. The Beauty Way invites you to create beauty in your life and to recognize the beauty inside yourself and in others. Stop to smell the roses, take a deep breath, look at the stars, and recognize the splendor that surrounds you. See the beauty in whatever situation you find yourself in, and you will receive the lesson that life is teaching you in a kind and gentle way. And so this just is a callback to all of this, and that like you're really going to be seeing the beauty in life and finding that peacefulness once you take a breath and just smell the roses. Because if you're by yourself, it's so much easier to see, you know, the beauty in nature and in life. You know, when you no longer have to be fixated on friends or something else that's just insanely stimulating. You'll find stimulation in calmness and peacefulness. And you'll realize like how pleasant that is. So yeah, that's what I got for your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and comment if it resonated. If you like a personal reading, I'm doing $10 personal readings now on my Instagram, so go ahead and DM me there, Lil_Lazuli, and I'll send you a private YouTube link to your reading. Thanks. I hope you enjoyed, and then my next reading will be what spirit or entity is around you. So that'll be coming out within the next few days, so if you'd like to see that, please subscribe. Have a great night. Bye. Okay, if you chose salmon, this is your reading. You got the moon in reverse, the world in reverse, 6 of Wands, Ace of Cups in reverse, 6 of Swords in reverse. I don't know, I blanked out there. Weird. The Empress in reverse, 3 of Cups. You got money, the past, and inactivity, which is the, what is this? The Knight of Pentacles in reversed. You got, for the rabbit deck, you got snow. Oh, that one's kind of hard to see, but there's not much on it. It's literally snow. And then the river in reverse. Okay. And then for your from your mystical shaman oracle deck, you got the ancient ones in reverse, and this will be your such pretty cards. This will be your advice. Okay. So whatever this blessing that's coming to you is going to be very unexpected. It's really gonna like change things up in your life. And it's like, it's not gonna feel logical at all. So yeah, it's like really gonna throw you off. I'm like trying to figure out what it is, but it's like whatever happens, it's gonna be like, what the heck is going on? You know, like those reality TV shows, where it's like reaches that like pinnacle, and like everyone's like arguing, and they're like, what the heck? I can't believe you like threw my phone off the yacht, and like now we just like don't have cell phones now, or something like that, and everyone's like, oh my god, that person's fighting, those people are making out, what the heck is going on? Like, that's how you're gonna be feeling. Yeah, especially like, I mean, this 3 of Cups came out like on its own, so I think it probably does have to do with like friends. It's possible that you're like gonna have, say like this, I'm feeling like this is a really like weird college experience or something like that, of just like things are gonna be pretty wild for you, and you're gonna like it, because like I feel like you may have been just feeling kind of bored and foggy, and maybe entering like a little bit of a depression, and I think that's because you haven't felt like having a lot of fun. And with the salmon card, I feel like you feel like any sort of social interaction is like a swim upstream. So like you're just like, it's not fun. You're like, no, you don't feel like you have necessarily like connections with people, and like you just don't feel at home or safe or comfortable with many people, and so whatever new experiences that I'm sensing that this like new experiences are going to be brought to you that like are going to make you, it's going to be just really fun, and you're going to really enjoy it. And it's like not something that you can plan. You know, you might be like invited out places, and you're going to be like, that's weird, I've never been invited out by this person, or like this is like a new situation for me. Like, definitely go for it, because you're going to do it, and then you're going to be like, that was the funnest time I ever had. And I know I've struggled with like, you know, still having close friends, but like I'll be like, you know, I'm definitely a partier, and so I'm, you know, and I'm a Libra, so I like I'm definitely like the life of the party whenever I go out, and I'm always like, I want everyone to have a good time, and like let's just like always be positive no matter if anything goes wrong, because I just want it to be like a really fun, unforgettable night, and let's turn these negative things into positive things. And then everyone else is like, ugh, this sucks, like the line to the bathroom is too long and we have to pay for parking. Like, and I'm like, stop being a hater. Like, let's just have fun. That's the whole point we're out. So I think in your situation, whatever you're gonna be doing that's fun, it's gonna be like really fun, and you're gonna be like, this is like what I've been waiting for, of just like a good time, something that like that could really, if you're struggling with anything, this will really like get your mind off of it. Okay, with these cards you got money, the past, and inactivity, the King of Pentacles in reverse. So I think like I'm getting like the sense that you have like in the past felt a lot of like people weren't very generous with you. And because of that, like you weren't surrounded by people who felt or lived abundantly. And so it kind of pulled you back from being like a generous, because you're probably like a really generous person, but like, you know, if you have $10 in your wallet and your friend hasn't eaten, you know, you would give them $5 so they could get their food, you know what I mean? And then you're like, well, I have $5, but you're like, I don't ever regret giving my friend the $5 because they need to eat. Whereas other people, where that's, you know, that same friend could have $10 in there, and then they'd be like, and you'd be like, I'm hungry, and they'd be like, that blows. You know what I mean? And you're like, well, I don't expect things to be like equally reciprocated, but I do, well, I mean, you do want things to be reciprocated, but you're not like keeping a tally or like keeping, you know, a tab of like who pays for what, but like you definitely feel like it may not be as equal. And so I'm seeing you're gonna be like breaking through this, and that's like no longer gonna be an issue for you, whether that's because you're gonna just stop giving to other people and like become more selective in that, and or like kind of start finding people who are generous with you, and like so you can be generous with them. Like I think you're going to, I mean, you probably have already been doing this and like holding back on the free gift giving, because you're going to figure out like who would be taking advantage, even though you feel like nobody would be taking advantage because you're happily giving. You're finally going to be like, I'm going to wait for someone to give to me first, or like picking up that someone's going to be generous to you, so that way your generosity is going to be sustainable. You know, you're not just going to freely give out to everyone, because when it comes to your time in need, if you're freely giving to everyone, you know 60% of those people aren't going to be able to give back to you, and then you're like, I feel so empty and I feel like I'm reaching out and no one's there. But in truth, it's just because you are going to be learning to become more selective with the people that you give to, because you're going to see who freely gives as well. And then you guys are going to like make, pacts, and you're going to be like, I see you, and I know you're just as generous as I am. So that's cool. You got, for the rabbit cards, you got snow and the river in reverse. Okay, so with this, I'm seeing like, maybe you feel like you're like a little bit insecure in relationships because you are worried that people aren't, you have to like, with the river card, you always like want this constant flow of communication between people, because you feel like if that, freezes over, that person's gonna forget about you and the relationship is over. And I think with this, the river being in reverse, you're gonna realize that like, and with the snow here, it's okay to like step away from relationships and let things settle. Of like, say you like have a friend that you're really close to, and you like just always, you maybe have like a Snapchat streak with them or whatever, and you just like always just back and forth texting all day, and then sometimes you just like, man, I don't feel like talking to anyone all day. Or there's this other group of friends, maybe I have this these friends over here, but this other completely different group I'm really enjoying my time with, but I'm constantly thinking about those other people, feeling like shameful or guilty. Yeah, like guilty that you're like not, you're taking away your energy from them and putting them into these people. And I think you're gonna realize that like your friends, or you're either gonna realize this or you're gonna find friends that will be your friends regardless of whether you have the energy to put into them in the moment or not. Like, you know, you're gonna figure out, the blessing is gonna be like, you're gonna see what healthy relationships are like, you know, being like palling around with these people over here and then just piecing out and being like, I'm gonna hang out with these friends over here, and then, you know, say like Joe texts you and they're like, oh, I want you to hang out and come to this party, and you're like, I'm sorry, I'm actually going to this party over here. The Joe, if it was a healthy relationship, Joe would definitely be like, oh, that's chill, like, yeah, dude, just, I want to hang out with you though, so like another time would like, but yeah, do your own thing. You like, we should all have multiple friends and stuff, you know, and we should, you know, you're allowed to have a wide circle of people. You don't have to, you know, constantly pour energy into one relationship, because like if you do that, then that's just unhealthy, and you're like ultimately like not setting yourself up to feel safe, because if you're only feeling safe in one relationship, and if you won't be feeling safe in that relationship, because you'll constantly feel like you need to give attention to it, and then if you pull away, that person's gonna equally pull away. You know what I mean? Like, I've had friends I met in college, and I got really close to them, and then I decided I wanted to move out of state, and I did that, and I moved across the country, and I had friends who were, I had a couple of friends that like really, kept in contact with me, and that's not saying we texted every day. We maybe would text, once every 3 weeks or whatever, but like just the fact that that person was like, we were both living our own lives, but if the thought of me came to them, or the thought of them came to me, we would, contact each other. And there were times when my friend would contact me, and then I was busy with people living my own life, and I didn't respond to them for a couple of days. And then I was like, oh man, I'm so sorry. Like, my bad. And the person was like, oh, it's okay. Like, I'm doing my own thing. Like, we can all do our own things, and it's okay. So I think that's a huge blessing that you're going to be learning, of just, no longer feeling like guilt toward your friendships. Okay. Whoa, I went off. I was popping off with that one. So I'll go ahead and read your advice from the Mystical Shaman Oracle Guidebook for the Ancient Ones in reverse. Okay. The essence. The Ancient Ones are the shamans of old who defeat death and escaped from the tyranny of time. The Ancient Ones walked the earth like us in flesh and bone. Now they reside in infinity and can counsel us after we say yes to our calling. They are available to help us attain our full realization. And this is in reverse, so you got the medicine. The Ancient Ones beseech you to examine your attitudes and actions and be sure that they are of the highest integrity. Not forgiving an ancestor or yourself is keeping you from the freedom you seek. Remember, this is no longer your karma. You can break the chains that once bound you to the family drama and be free of your generational curses. Forgive the ones you need to release. Honor your biological ancestors by lighting a candle to them tonight. So, I mean, this one definitely just hit the nail right on the head with self-forgiveness. And that's keeping you from the freedom you seek. And with this, regarding ancestors, it's possible that this could be some family guilt, but just overall, I'm just sensing that you're probably a pretty heavily guilty person, and you're just like, when you feel like you're not giving enough in relationships, it just really bothers you. And so your blessing is just going to be like releasing you from that self-guilt, because guilt doesn't help anyone. There's no reason to be punishing yourself, regardless of like even if you did screw some people over or you hurt some people's feelings, there's no reason for you to like sit in this self-guilt. Like apologize or like move on, but there's no reason to be like, whoa, I'm a bad person, because it's like, I don't know, that's annoying to me. Not that you're annoying, but but yeah, there's just no reason to be sitting in self-guilt. So that's what I got for you. I hope you enjoyed that. If that resonated, please comment. If you like a personal reading, I'm doing $10 personal readings on my Instagram, Lil_Lazuli. Hit me up, DM me, and I'll send you a link to a private YouTube video for you, just for you. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. And if you'd like to watch the next video, the next video will be on what spirit or entity is around you. And that'll be coming out within the next few days, so go ahead and subscribe if you'd like to see that. Have a great night. Bye. Okay, if you chose Raven, this is your reading. You got the 6 of Swords in reverse, Queen of Cups, the Hierophant in reverse, Ace of Pentacles, the 4 of Cups, 2 of Cups in reverse, the Emperor in reverse, Desire, again 2 of Cups in reverse. Interesting. Yeah, and then you got the 8 of Pentacles in reverse, the King of Cups in reverse, also says dishonesty, and then you got, from the Rabbit Tarot deck, you got Setting Sun, the Lawnmower, and the Badger in reverse. And from your Mystical Shaman Oracle deck, you got the Sun in reverse, and that's what the Sun looks like. This will be your advice card, and I'll read from the Oracle book for that. So, I mean, immediately I'll go ahead and address the 2 of Cups in reverse coming out twice. So, I think the blessing to you that's coming is just a lot of self-love. And with this self-love, I'm feeling like a more gentle vibe with this one, because with another pile that I had, it was like they were going to go through this period of solitude that they were going to go through like this period of like solitude, and it was going to like freak them out and stuff, but eventually it was just, they're eventually going to reach this point of self-love and like really appreciating them. But I'm seeing that this is more of like a gentle nudge of maybe you'd recently had gotten your heart broken. I'm seeing this King of Cups in reverse, dishonesty, so it could be someone maybe cheated on you, has really hurt your feelings. You know, you may experience some sort of disappointment in a relationship, and like I'm seeing that this is the worst of the hurt. The next step for you is going to be like this healing period of you really deciding to focus on yourself. This isn't going to be anything like forced upon you. It's going to be like you really, with the Raven, I'm sensing some like Edgar Allan Poe vibes. You might be getting into writing, you know, poetry, songwriting, journal writing, something that will get you in touch with your emotions once again. With the Hierophant, I'm sensing a lot of like, you maybe have been dealing with people who have a lot of like problems with ego, and that's been really difficult for you to process. And so you're gonna finally want to just go inward and understand your kindness and like your inner light, because you're no longer like seeing it in other people. I'm seeing that a lot of darkness is coming out for others, and so because of this, this is going to be like that gentle nudge of like, you finally, especially with like this Three of Cups, you're getting just with, you know, his arms are crossed, and so he's like kind of disappointed in these Three Cups that he has been staring at. So I'm seeing that these are like other relationships, or this just could be one, you know, big relationship, but ultimately you're finally going to be like reaching for this one cup, and this one cup is just yourself. And with this Ace of Pentacles, I'm definitely sensing that like whatever you're going to be doing, whatever you're going to be starting, you know, once you're focusing on yourself, you're going to be like, there's something that I really want physically that I haven't been putting much effort into. And you're really going to be putting effort towards this one thing, whether it's like, you know, moving up in your job, you know, spending more time there, or working on a new creative project. This Ace of Pentacles is going to, like, this is a start of some new thing that physical thing that you're manifesting, and you're going to be seeing some positivity in it right away. That's going to be a huge encouragement for you. So I'm seeing like that's definitely a blessing too, of like, this is how you're being nudged, and that like you're not being forced to have to go through all these horrible things, because I think the worst is already behind you, like the hurt and the pain that you've kind of already dealt with. So what's new that's coming in is like this new motivation to like bring out yourself and physically manifest your soul into the world. And like Spirit really wants you to do this, but it's not going to force you. You have free will to do whatever you want. You can like sit there and chill out and veg out all you want, but if you do decide to like take that next step toward whatever you want to physically manifest, like Spirit's going to provide a reward for you right away for it. Yeah, the Emperor in reverse, I'm seeing that like you're also going to get, that's cool. You're also going to get the positive, like the satisfaction of like those people that once hurt you. Once you do this, I think a lot too, that's going to provide you a lot of like smugness that it's okay to like live in and enjoy. Because I don't think you're like a naturally smug person, or you feel like you're better than others, but whoever this Emperor is, I'm sensing that this is like the other person that had this built up ego that really hurt you. So this person is going to feel either like regretful that they hurt you, or they're gonna like reach out to you again, or they're gonna see whatever this physical manifestation is that you're bringing into the world. It's really gonna catch the eye of the people who had hurt you, or the person who had hurt you, and you're gonna finally be in your power and be loving yourself, and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, now you're coming around, because now that I have some love in myself, you want this love? Well, too bad. Like, I'm already giving it to myself. I gave it to you first, and you kind of messed with it. So that's a big blessing, is that you're gonna kind of be able to feel some smugness, and don't like totally just live it up, just soak it in, because you deserve it. You seem like a very intelligent, studious, peaceful person that just like kind of is really well intentioned, and so when you do get into those moments of like feeling you like, I'm mad, I just want to do things for myself and I don't want to care about anyone else, like really live it up, because you don't often feel that way. You're often like more, centered toward service. So just if you decide to self-serve for a moment, like don't beat yourself up about it. Just live it up. Don't try to shorten it, because you are naturally already like living for the greater betterment of the world. Yeah, wow, that's nice. And then you got the setting sun, the lawnmower in reverse, and the badger in reverse. So yeah, you're going to finally feel like you can put to bed all these people who you feel like are cutting others down. And I definitely like struggled with this, where like I was attracted to a lot of darker people who were more egoic, because I was like, I see the goodness in you, and like I know that you're just hurting on the inside, And then I got screwed over because that they did exactly what I refused to see. You know what I mean? And so I feel like these people, the hurtful people that you've been hanging around, or you've, you know, this particular person has really done a lot to like cut you down, and they themselves were very defensive, and so it kind of made you defensive. And then you would sort of like take that as like, you're like, wow. Anytime they would get defensive with you, you would take it as a bad thing on your own. Or like to your, you know, you'd think that like there was something wrong with you, when really you were just like a loving person really trying to understand their side. And so I'm seeing, well, like the setting sun, you're finally putting to bed relationships that you that just actually just weren't good for you, and it didn't have anything to do with your ego. Like your ego doesn't come from not accepting people enough, because you do, like, you over accept, and so your kind of problems with ego are not having enough self-love, and therefore like putting too much into negativity and trying to bring light into negativity, when really you should just be connecting yourself to more light and like expanding light, rather than entering, you know, a relationship with someone negative who is just gonna like pull you down, because that's not doing anything good for your energy. It's just allowing negative entities that like could be lashing onto other people to like connect to you and then siphon off your energy. And I know that sounds kind of dark, but I guess something helpful that you can look at things with too is like, you don't have to look at a person as a bad person, but yeah, I guess look at it as like a demonic attachment. So like, if a person is cool and you're like, I can see the goodness in you, but there's just like this demonic attachment like just stuck to you and like making you so negative, then you don't have to feel guilty not associating with this person. Just be like, I can't be getting attached to demons too. You know what I mean? Because really everyone's battling their own demons, but if you like look at it as in like an actual demonic sense, then maybe it'll just be easier for you to like remove yourself from that energy, and it may not, so it'll seem more scary and like less attractive to you, because really it should be scary, because like it's, you know, it's really affecting you personally. So that's going to be your blessing. It's just the self-love that's going to take you away from all this negativity. You got the sun in reverse for your oracle, so let's read your advice. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. A lot of S's here. Oh, here, okay, the sun. The essence. The sun is acknowledged by many cultures as the foremost masculine force. In other traditions, it is seen as the feminine in her full power. Either way, it is the most brilliant light for all beings and allows life to sprout from the dark, feminine earth. It can be gentle and warming, close to sunrise or sunset, fall or winter, or it can be destructive, as in zenith during a scorching summer. So the medicine. Have you been shining your light for too long? Remember that daylight is only 1/2 of the day. The night must have her equal time, and she offers us her gifts as well. Be careful not to be blinded by your light or the light of others. Do not become enamored with yourself or worship others, but wear your shadow. Revel in your midday glory, but do not be afraid of the waning of the light at dusk. So, I mean, I'm connecting this to, you know, your pile as like, again, that your dark side is providing too much light. Have you been shining your light for too long? As in like, all you want to do is help others, give to others, and then, you know, you're avoiding that side of like where you are able to like cut people off and be like that sort of like logical masculine energy where you're like, nope, I don't need that, because you're you demonize that as being something dark, when really you should be kind of integrating your own darkness. So this is just advice for you to see what your own darkness is, and that may not be necessarily darkness. It may be too much light. So that's definitely some advice for you, and that's what I'm seeing for your reading. So I hope you enjoyed that. If that resonated, please leave a comment. If you'd like a personal reading, you can hit me up on my Instagram, Lil_Lazuli, and I can give you a $10 reading there. And basically, I'll send you a YouTube link for your own, or private YouTube link for your own personal video. And if you'd like to see my next video, which will be what entity or spirit is around you, then you can go ahead and subscribe, and that should be up in the next few days. Have a great night. Bye. Okay, if you chose the Moose, this is your reading. You got the 7 of Pentacles in reverse, 7 of Wands in reverse, 4 of Cups in reverse, 5 of Wands, Page of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, the Star in reverse, or Behavior, 3 of Wands, Detachment. You got a bunch of rabbit oracles. So you got Child with Greens, the Standing Rabbit, the Slow Dog, the Sun. And for your, can't see it, I guess. Guess you can't see the sun. It's too bright for the sun. Well, it's not really, there's no, it's a weird looking sun. Anyways, and then for your Mystical Shaman Oracle, this is your advice card. You got the Time Master in reverse. This is one of my favorites in the deck because it's so pretty. Look at those colors. I cannot. Okay. So what blessing is coming to you? I'm seeing a lot of blessings coming to you. So many that you're gonna like have to choose between them. Interesting. So it seems like things are going well, right? And you're gonna be seeing multiple blessings, but not all of them are blessings. You'll be getting opportunities for friendship, love, and finances. I'm seeing you're going to be inclined to move away from finance. You're going to be feeling like, well, I want the thing that's going to provide me the greatest happiness. And so right away, you're going to be feeling like love and friendship are going to be the places that you're going to be most gravitating towards. But this is saying you're only going to be allowed to choose one or two in order to really receive whatever blessing is meant for you. And this is saying choose the physical career blessing. Because this might be, this may be a job offer that you decide to, say you get a job and it's out of state or away from your friends and this new person that you started seeing. Or say you got a new, you get an offer for something where you have a promotion where you are going to be spending more time at work and less time with friends. Something like that. Something where you're going to need to put more energy into whatever physical manifestation you've been wanting. And maybe you can't see this is saying that you can't see the full extent of the blessing yet, which is why you'd be inclined to go toward like friends and love. But this is saying this physical opportunity is going to be really helpful for you. And it's going to be something that will help with your communication. With this Ace of Swords, I'm seeing like maybe it's an opportunity to, you know, move up in your job and like you do something that's more like a public speaking role, you know what I mean? And so like this is the longer effects of the blessing of like, you're going to be able to just feel more confident in yourself. It's going to be, you might be feeling a block in your throat chakra, feeling like you're not really being true to yourself. It's hard for you to express your truth. And ultimately, like, you may be kind of pulling away from your friends and love already. And I think you may be feeling like an opportunity with friends or, you know, love, you're going to want to like double down on it. But this is saying to like embrace that detachment and move toward something new with your career. And it's going to be offered to you. So like, just basically it's like accept the opportunity. You don't need to do anything other than that. Because you're going to be inspired to, like divinely inspired to do whatever you need to do afterwards once you accept the opportunity. With the Star in reverse, I think you're worried that if you put more effort into you know, your physical manifestations, you might be regretfully, you know, like losing some friendships and stuff like that. And this could be like a trigger from maybe your past, possibly maybe your parents worked a bunch and you never got to see them, and you're just like, why would I ever want to put more effort into work when I can have friends? But just know that like, you have a long life and you go through cycles. You're more attuned to cycles and the ebb and flow of the world energies. And so don't be fearful of getting like stuck in like your job and, you know, getting sucked into only doing that, because naturally I think you're a really balanced person, and so you are gonna eventually gravitate back towards like your relationships. But right now it's just the focus is on career. So yeah, just don't be afraid of detaching yourself from one thing, thinking that it's forever going to be detached and you'll never be able to revisit it, because you are a very spiritual, strong person in the sense that you're not afraid of change. And so embrace a change that may be moving, you know, just like embrace it pretty much, because you're never really truly saying goodbye to anything. If you can embrace change, then don't worry about being stagnant. Okay. And then you got the Child with Greens, the Standing Rabbit, the Slow Dog, and the Sun. So, it's possible that you might be working with children, getting into comedy. These are things that I'm randomly seeing, so this may not be. These are all specific. Getting into comedy, working with children, getting more into like the culinary arts. For comedy, doing stand-up in specific, you know, working on that, going to open mics. Weird. Not that's weird, but like that's a weird message. But also doing more public speaking. Maybe becoming like, if you're a light worker, maybe learning something like Reiki, energy healing. Learning more about sound, and how that like purifies energy. These are things that may be related to like the new career move that you're heading into. But overall, I think the message is whatever you're doing is going to make you a lot more charming, a lot more confident, and you're gonna feel much more like a boss. Especially like with the slow dog energy. So like, I see that you might be struggling with figuring out how to become like the boss and getting into that energy. You know, like you see those movies like The Devil Wears Prada, right? Where Meryl Streep is just like, this, that, this. Do whatever, you know, I'm the boss, so I'm going to tell you exactly what I need you to do for me. You know what I mean? And you may not be a person like that because you like have never been the boss, especially like our generation, as just like we've been kind of infantilized and like just taught to like believe that we're not as wise or as hardworking or as knowledgeable as like the older generations. But a lot of us, I feel like it just sucks because I enter a job and I'm like, feel like I'm doing like the same quality work as this other person who's 15 years older than me, but they just get that respect because they're 15 years older than me. And like, it just sucks. And then you're like, you know, you might be entering the workplace and they're like, oh, sweetie, like that's something that bothers me. Like, I get treated like a kid all the time. She's like, I get it, I'm young, but I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm stupid. You know what I mean? So whatever position you're entering into, it's going to really give you that chance to like, no longer, if you ever feel like infantilized at your job, like you're not going to be able to feel that anymore. And you're going to be having some power and people are going to be respecting you. And so that's going to be a really awesome blessing for you. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and read your oracle card. You got the Time Master in reverse. Let's see. ST. Okay. The essence. Time is a construct of the human mind through which life events are seen to flow in a straight line from past to future. This, however, is an illusion. Time moves in patterns, fractals, sometimes turning like a wheel, and other times moving straight as an arrow. Humans see time like a ticking clock, and this image reminds us that there is only so much of it to spend in a life, like a kind of currency. At any given moment, you can see time in all its infinite potential, at once vast and all-encompassing, then shrunken and finite. It all depends on perspective. So you got this in reverse, so the medicine is, sometimes it appears that you are running out of time. You worry you won't get what you need or want. Everything gets stuck like a logjam. This is only in your mind. Time expands and contracts according to your ability to be mindful and observant. Fully engaged in your now, it's time to release the story of your past. Equally, it's time to release your need to know the details of the future. All the treasure magically reveals itself when you remain relaxed and present to what is directly in front of you and nothing else. Then you realize you have all the time in the world. You will never run out of it. So, with this time card, I'm definitely connecting it to the rest of the reading with like, you know, not worrying about dedicating your time to this new physical career opportunity, because ultimately, yeah, time isn't as time, if you're not perceiving time as like a ticking clock, then you're not going to be feeling so guilty just detaching from one thing and putting time into the other, because time is you have much more time than you think. And if you can feel that, then you'll feel much more at peace and you'll be able to like live a much fuller life if you're not just feeling like it's slipping away from you, because it's not. The idea that life is slipping away from you is just you feeling insecure about how you're spending your time. So just once you figure out where that insecurity stems from, then you can work on being present at all times. So that was the blessing reading that I got for you. If that resonated, please leave a comment. And if you'd like to see my next video, that will be which spirit or entity is around you. That'll be coming out in the next few days, so please subscribe if you'd like to see that. And I'm giving away $10 personal readings. So hit me up on my Instagram, Lil_Lazuli, DM me there, and I can set you up with a reading there. What I do is send a private YouTube link with your personal video to you. So have a great night. Bye. Okay, if you got the butterfly, here's your reading. You got the Knight of Cups, Knight of Pentacles in reverse, Page of Wands, the Sun in reverse, King of Cups in reverse, the Hermit, King of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, Page of Swords in reverse, Incapacity, Death in reverse, Nine of Cups, Success card, and for the Rabbit Tarot, or Rabbit Tarot, you got Ears in reverse, the Pen, Hawk Legs, and the Bear Bush. And from the Mystical Shaman Oracle, this will be your advice card. You got the Arrow. Okay. So the blessing that's coming into your life is that you're going to be going through some changes where you feel a lot more grounded. And so because you're in this energy, you're going to feel a lot more, you're going to be more inspired to be more like fiery and playful and passionate in your daily life, you know, your social life. And because of this, I think you always have gone for people who are either too like low status, kind of weaker, whiny people, or you would go for someone who's like afraid of commitment, who would kind of run away from you. And I think it's because you had kind of been in those energies yourself, and so you're kind of like, well, I'll just take what I can get. If you yourself can't feel confident and playful, then you're not going to be attracting someone who is like that. And so I see like you feeling like you're stepping into your own power and going out and just like being that fun person that you always feel like you were on the inside, but you couldn't really express it when you were out with people. And because of this, you're going to be attracting this King of Swords, this person who's going to be really like assertive, communicative, and like not whiny, like not a whiny baby. Like this person is gonna like have emotions, but they're not gonna be overly emotional. They're not gonna be, I think you might have like struggled with like dealing with people who are just overly feminine, and you were sort of that, you were sort of that feminine energy, so you were just being with someone who was also really feminine. It just wasn't a good match for you because you needed that yin to your yang, you know what I mean? And so I think this next person coming in is going to be that for you. But at the same time, you guys are both going to be, like I'm seeing like this person's this hermit and this is you. So at the same time, you both are going to be like more, you guys might both be more introverted, but at the same time, you guys are gonna like both experience like an awesome extroversion and playfulness when you're out in public. And I think that's what you're missing, because you're a complex person, and so it's difficult to find someone who's as like multifaceted as you. You feel like you're one way, you know, like a butterfly, like you're just constantly transforming in your daily life. You're like one day you're like, I want to stay inside and read a book, not talk to anyone, and then another day you're like, I need to like hang out with all these friends and like throw a big party or something like that. And so it's hard to find someone who also matches that energy, because your energy is constantly changing. But I think you're gonna realize that you actually, once you are grounded, like you're just more adaptable to energies. It's possible like you're more, I'm sensing like a lot of just like Libra, of sort of like yeah, always just like more so wanting situations to be harmonious rather than feeling like you're just always stuck in one constant energy. You know what I mean? So like when you're at home alone, you're like, I want to be peaceful and I want to like read this book and do this puzzle or whatever. And then when you're out, you're like, we're out, let's just have a good time. You know what I mean? And so I think you're going to be able to find a person who also values having that harmony of energies when they're around you. And so they're going to be like going to be able to adapt well to you. Yeah, this Page of Swords in reverse. I'm seeing that like, yeah, there's possibly someone that has like wounded you, and they've made you feel like you're not going to be able to find someone who's going to be like, basically I think you've struggled because you feel like people aren't predictable. Like, you know that you have all these different energies, so maybe other people see you as not predictable, but you see other people as not predictable because all you care about is like having harmony in situations, and all they care about is just doing the same thing. And so you're just like confused, because you're like, like you're supposed to be feeling like bubbly and vivacious when we're around all these people, and then they're not, and you feel like there's this sort of disconnect with communication, and like maybe you're not seeing the full picture, but in truth it's like you are, and you're already like 2 steps ahead of these people. You know what I mean? So yeah, you're not on the same page because you're further along in the book than they are, if that makes sense. And so once you're able to like release these people that aren't on the same page as you, you're gonna like open yourself up to like no longer feeling like you can't trust people, because in truth they just like weren't as like ascended as you. They weren't at the same level of awareness. So if you are finding your person like who matches your consciousness, then it'll be so much easier to trust them, because you're gonna be like, they're gonna be able to view situations similarly to you. Whereas other people, you know, if you don't necessarily know yourself, then you'll constantly be clinging onto concepts that you feel like are yourself. But for you, you've already moved past that, so you're probably you're more probably ascended group, you know, like 5D, where you're just kind of freely flowing with life at this point, whereas other people are like still really holding on to these concepts that you don't really care about anymore, because you're like, I'm not a concept, I'm a full-fledged human. You know what I mean? And so with that, once you like accept that, you're going to be able to find success in your relationships, and be able to like also see those people who are struggling with dealing with like grasping onto like these concepts. And like, I'm hoping, I know I'm being kind of vague, but like I hope I'm making sense of like yeah, like, okay, when it'll also improve your relationship with these other people who are kind of, okay, say you're in a situation where, okay, let's just say, this is what's coming to my mind. Say you got a boyfriend, right? And he's kind of this guy who like grasps onto these concepts, and you're just kind of like a free-flowing person, and you're just like, in this moment, you know, you and your boyfriend have, you know, they have had a lot of times, you know, they've been doing their own thing, you've been doing your own thing, and now you're home together, and you want to spend time with them. And say they've been out with their friends or whatever, and they come home and they're like playing video games. And, you know, this isn't like a shot at like that's okay. But then you go to this person and you're like, hey, you were doing a lot of other personal things all day, and so was I, and so now I want to spend this time with you, and I want this personal one-on-one time. And this person's like, no, why are you taking away my freedom and taking away my video games? I care about video games. That might be like like some sort of problem that you'd run into, where this person is clinging on to this idea of like freedom, and that, you know, video games are like something that they like. So they're like, well, if this person's taking away something that I like, then they're bad for me. And you're sitting here like, well, maybe I'm being selfish for this. But in truth, you just want someone who can truly connect to you for a bit. You know what I mean? You're not saying like you're expecting this all the time, but you're like moving, like freely flowing with life, and this person's kind of resisting communication with you. And it might be like a sort of gaslighty kind of feeling of like, you're like, well, my bad, I shouldn't have asked to spend more time. I should have just let him play the video games. But yeah, I mean, I hope that like situation kind of applies to your situation, or you can kind of like meld that to whatever you're feeling. But that's what I'm seeing for that. I'll circle back around to like, basically, once you accept the fact that you're like you are a very conscious, aware person, you can be like, that person can play their video games. Like, I need someone who I can connect to. You know what I mean? Like, you realize you're no longer the thing that's not good enough. It's this person who's grasping onto something that's not you. So you're gonna need to find someone who doesn't like grasp onto things, and it's just sort of like wants to experience in the same way. Okay. And then for your Rabbit Tarot, you got ears in reverse, the pen, hawk legs in reverse, and the bear bush in reverse. Interesting, because like I was talking about like grasping onto concepts. I know, I hope that like that term like, or that phrase agrees with you, because I just keep saying it. And if it's not, then you're probably gonna be like, I hate this stupid reading. But yeah, like, see these hawk legs in reverse, so you're kind of like letting go of that sort of idea of like getting trapped in another person's ideas of what a relationship should be. When you realize, when the truth is, the relationship for you was just like being in the moment and just really truly connecting to a person, and not having any communicative barriers that could keep you from that. And like with the ears in reverse, with this person that's, you know, coming in, or these new relationships that are gonna come in, you're gonna like no longer feel like people aren't listening to you. Cause like, I can tell that you are really wise with your words, and you really well thought out, you know what I mean? And you really care about, you know, wanting to be on the same page as these other people. And so you like think really hard about how to communicate with others. And people just don't do that. People like live in their mind. They do what they want to do. And so if you come at them and you're just like, hey, I've really been thinking about this, and I feel like this is a problem, and they react to you like defensively, then you're just like, they're like, what? well, so you think I'm a bad boyfriend? And you're like, no, I'm really trying to keep this like harmonious, and I just want to solve the problem. You're like, and then you're like, well, maybe I just really don't feel listened to. You know what I mean? Like, you don't feel like you can truly express yourself. That's no longer gonna be a feeling that you have. You're no longer gonna be like trapped in this idea of like you have to conform to what someone else, or try to like figure out someone else before you can communicate with them. You're gonna feel like confident that you have done everything to like maximize your awareness of situations, and you're just gonna like present ideas freely. So yeah, and then we got for the mystical shaman oracle, you got the arrow. So I'll go ahead and read that for you. So, the essence. Receiving this symbol reminds you that when you are in alignment with your heart and soul, you are on target and will soon be hitting your mark. Be true to your calling, release attachments, and free yourself from the bondage of unbridled ambition. Now is revealed to be a moment of contact in which your intention meets the material world. The arrow also symbolizes the need to set your creativity free. So the invitation. When the arrow zings through the air, it is inviting you to pay attention and signifying you that you are about to make your mark in some aspect of your life. It illuminates the moment of contact when you know that your desires and intentions have traveled on the wind and landed in the perfect place for your highest good. Trust that your job is to be relaxed yet focused, keeping your eye on the prize yet releasing your intention with full expectation that it will land as it is supposed to. Don't worry about the how or the exact form. This is not a time to interfere with the manner in which the arrow flies. It will make its mark, and you will have cause to celebrate. So, okay, so with this, the arrow zings through the air. It is inviting you to pay attention and signifying that you're about to make your mark in some aspect of your life. So I feel like, yeah, you have done so much work on your consciousness and awareness that like you're really in connection with the divine right now. And it talked about creativity, relationship, physical manifestations. Like, you don't have to try so hard. You've been through so much transformation that like you are on top of it. So just like really trust yourself and relax and like ride the ride of life, because again it talked about like being in the exact place where you're supposed to be for your highest good. So if people have been falling away, you've been going through some hurtful relationships or difficult situations, those are going to be falling away because you're getting perfectly set up for your highest good. This arrow is already traveling toward that target, and that I feel like that target is just like ultimate happiness and peace in your life, and not feeling distrusted or turbulent with people, feeling like, I'm sure you were just like really obsessed with like self-improvement and stuff, and so like wanting that so much. Like, I think sometimes we may feel like we get into this endless cycle of like, I want to be happy, and so I'm making all these changes to like make my life happy, and I want to be super aware so that way I can like finally just be in the moment and connect to people. And then but you feel like you're constantly going through all these transformations, and you're like, ugh, another difficult thing that's like causing me unhappiness. I gotta get past that. Another difficult thing. I think the arrow is on its way to hitting the target to like peacefulness and happiness. So know that you're not gonna be stuck in that situation forever and that vibe. You're gonna like reach like stability, and you're gonna ultimately like reap the rewards of all your hard work and all your transformations and your ascension, because you are a very aware, ascended, conscious being. So that's what I got for your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. If that resonated, please leave a comment. And if you'd like to see my next video, which is what entity or spirit is around you, please subscribe, and I'll have that up in a couple of days. If you'd like a personal reading, I'm giving away $10 personal readings on my Instagram. And you can go ahead and hit up Lil_Lazuli, and I'll send you a private YouTube link to your personalized video. Yeah, I hope you enjoy that. Have a great night.